Hey everyone, it's Army Gaming. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to Monster Legends. Welcome to a monster analysis on Elfriede. I think it's German. So with that being said, I'm just going to refer to this monster as Elf for the duration of the video. This is the new race Dark Corrupted Monster. SP has given us a lot of dark monsters in Season 6 to celebrate their birthday. So, Elf, when I first saw this monster, I was so sure he was going to be a Megaton monster. He just looks like a giant tank, right? A giant taunt monster. Unfortunately, he's not a Megaton monster. He doesn't even have the taunt trait as well. If I scroll down real quick, he has Gravedigger, which is interesting. We have not seen that in a long time. We have Tough, and we have an area 50% shield. So we'll get back to that. Let's look at the lore of this monster. While the Lord was waiting for his servants to collect and bring him relics, he spent a lot of time alone in his hideout, but with only the company of his pets. Waldorf. Oh, who's that? Upcoming monster? But alone didn't mean bored. He spent his days making plans and thinking of the territories that would fall under his control. He also has some time to work on some ironwork. Elf is a result of that hobby because, of course, the Lord wouldn't just make a chair or a gate. He made a coffin and he put his heavy corrupted Ludum inside it to bring it to life. Isn't it twisted and brilliant? Elf fights by the Lord's side and also imprisons his enemies for eternity. Okay, I see it now. I see that he can be a chair, so probably the Lord just sits on this monster. I'm interested in this monster. I'm pretty sure we'll be seeing him in the future. Alright, Elf, let's see what you have. He's a dark tank with tortures, instant death, damage mirrors, regen, shield skills, evolving trait. At rank 0, he's Gravedigger. At rank 1, he becomes Tough. At rank 2, he becomes Status Caster, applying a 50... Wait, at rank 2? At rank 3. That should say at rank 3. That's a typo. He gets the Status Caster, applying a 50% life shield to all allies. Alright, so Gravedigger. For those of you that don't know, Gravedigger, if I'm not mistaken, the first time we ever got a Gravedigger monster was actually with the one, the only, and he was actually a race monster too, the Undertaker. I'm gonna pull up a screenshot of the monster. I'm just getting it ready. That's why I'm stalling for time. Here we go. The Undertaker, immune to possession, corruption, and nightmare. So talk about a throwback. So yeah, you're basically immune to possession and corruption, and then that added nightmares, which I guess helps because all these new corrupted monsters from Season 6 are like Status Caster Nightmares. We have Stony doing it and Lord Nabotis. Alright, we have Tough at rank 1, which is good, right? 35% of the time you don't get hit with negative effects, and then a Status Caster area 50% shield. Your whole entire team starts with a 50% shield. I like that. That's awesome. That's nice. Keep in mind, though, the meta does have Spec, which just bypasses that shield. The meta also has Dispelling Fist, which just cleanses that shield as well. So, this monster has an armor and a shield relic. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. What else would you expect from a tank, right? I mean, those are the perfect relics. We have Underworld, Undead, and Souls there. Again, if this monster would have had the taunt trait, I think it could have been a game changer. So, with that said, let's see what he actually has. The Rot deals low metal damage to when an enemy applies nanovirus, requires cooldown. Whoa! We normally don't have skills that require cooldown for a basic attack. Although this one does apply nanovirus, which blocks positive effects, so I guess that's good. We have Iron Casket, applies 100% life shield to one ally. Hey, that's pretty good. One ally, can be yourself, can be someone else, gets 100% life shield. This costs no cooldown, costs no stamina. So I will actually, I don't usually like skills like that, but I do like it because of the 0 cooldown, 0 stamina cost. We have Arcane Smite, deals moderate dark damage to an enemy, applies curse to one enemy. Okay, dark and curse. Death Ward applies a 50% life shield and blocks out 50%. Okay, so this skill here is good. Death Ward, 50% life shield and blocks 50% of incoming damage for your whole entire team. Who has this? Modrak. Modrak has one of these. Again, if this monster would have had a taunt trait, he could have been like Modrak. So, the cool thing about blocking 50% of incoming damage is that even monsters that have a pierce don't actually bypass that for whatever reason. So, they'll still get through the shield, but that blocking 50% of incoming damage is definitely powerful and deadly. Has a 2-turn cooldown, 21 stamina cost. Parliament of Decay deals moderate metal damage, applies nanovirus. So this monster is trying to stop the enemy from having any buffs. I do like that. Deals heavy dark damage, applies nanovirus and curse to one enemy. We better get an AoE curse. I don't think we've seen it. It's been single curses. Because this says tank with tortures, instant death, damage mirror. Okay, so we have yet to see that. Alright, maybe the last skills. Reverse Iron Maiden. Applies a 50% damage mirror and a 50% life shield to our allies. Blocks out 50% of incoming damage. Okay, that is pretty good. So this monster, okay, you know what? This monster has 2 skills that block 50% of incoming damage. One of them will give you a 50% damage mirror, and both of them will give you a 50% shield, and they have a 2-turn cooldown. So yeah, you can easily essentially like cycle between them, right? One turn you do reverse Iron Maiden, maybe the next turn you don't need to do anything, then you go into a Death Ward, and then by your next turn you can reverse Iron Maiden again. So maybe for the whole entire game, your monsters have a 50% shield along with blocking. That's honestly pretty good. The last skill we have, Sarcophagus Rex, 25% chance to instant kill, 5% if it's a boss, life regen to itself, requires cooldown. Fortune cooldown, yikes. I'm not a big fan of this. It's a 1 in 4 chance to instant kill, which is nice, but it's also too random for my sakes. If this skill, I would say the only way I would recommend this skill is if the life regen would have been for your whole entire team, because then you can justify it, because you're not just going for the 25% chance to kill, you're going for that life regen. If this monster could have held a revival, that would have made things even more interesting. Or if you would have had like a res block, which really isn't used right now in the meta, that would have been interesting too. Okay, let me reevaluate this monster. First, the ultimate breath of the Dam, 50% chance of killing enemy, 20 if it's a boss, applies poison curse. And there we go. Now we get dots. I really wish he had an AoE curse. If he had an AoE curse, he would have been significantly better. In terms of a skill set, I say you go the pure tank route. You give this monster Death Ward. You give this monster Reverse Iron Maiden. Those are your two main skills. After that, you can essentially decide for yourself what you want to run on this monster. I really like Iron Casket because literally you can use it in any situation when you have no stamina, when you got hit with CDA. But at the same time, you might not necessarily need it. But then I'm also thinking, like, can you just imagine you Death Ward, give a teammate a 50% life shield, and they block 50% of incoming damage. Then the enemy attacks your main monster, your attacker. They get rid of the 50% life shield, so then you Iron Casket the monster, now has a 100% life shield, and it's still blocking 50% of incoming damage. That is powerful stuff. That is really powerful stuff. But let me see. Going back to my recommended skill set, Death Ward and Reverse Iron Maiden for sure. I would say AoE Nanovirus. You know what? By the time, if you run this monster with 3 team speed, because ideally you would give this monster, you could honestly, there's some arguments to giving this monster like, I don't know, like 2 speed, team speed, or even 3 speed, just to go in and get that blocking 50% of incoming damage in. You want to get that, but you don't want to be too fast. You don't want to be faster than the enemy monster running Dispelling Fist, because then they'll cleanse it away. So you got to kind of play it out. If I was to have this monster, I would run it, well, I hopefully will be getting this monster. I would give him 3 team speed. I'd have him go last in the turn order, and I would block 50% of incoming damage. So because he's doing that, I feel like I don't personally need the nanovirus. It's like, why do I need a nanovirus, everyone? By the time this monster goes, hopefully I already eliminated one enemy monster or they're close to dying. I just want to do protection. So I'd block 50% of incoming damage. I'd probably reapply it again if I needed to. You know what? I probably would run Rex. So 25% of the time I'm going to be killing randomly an enemy monster, because once the Death Ward and the Reverse Iron Maiden are applied, I don't really feel the need to do another thing. Like, I guess I could deal low damage and nanovirus someone. Don't really need to. I guess I could curse someone. Probably don't really need to. I'd probably run Arcane Wither, to be honest, just because it does nanovirus and curse. So I get the 2. I block positive effects and I curse. I don't even know. You know what? Maybe I do the... I'd probably just run Iron Casket just in case I needed it. So I'd go Iron Casket, Death Ward, Rex, and Reverse Iron Maiden. I think that's what I would do. But really, the 2 main skills are the blocking 50% incoming damage. If you want to run the AoE Nanovirus for whatever reason, you could. I don't feel like it's necessarily needed, although blocking positive effects from the enemy team is good. But yeah, I feel like by the time this monster gets to turn in, there's not 3 enemy monsters live. There might not even be 2 enemy monster lives. That's why I tend to orientate more towards single target attacks. And then I feel like, hey, situation might come in where you want that Iron Casket, so might as well run it. As for the shield and armor, I'm sure you can come up with something to recover your stamina. So yeah, I'm going with that skill set. Iron Maiden, Death Ward, Iron Casket, and Rex. And arguably you can put in Arcane Wither if you want to. That way you can at least curse and nanovirus someone. Interesting monster. I don't know how I feel about him now. Trait-wise, definitely not the best, I would say. But these 2 skills I am a huge fan of. But how often would I use them? I don't know. If he was a top monster, it'd be a different story. With these 2 skills, I'd be like, yeah, I'm down for him. He's awesome. Man, but nah. Like I'd be down with replacing the top for the Gravedigger with Taunt, and then he'd be immaculate. But it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. So let me hear your guys' thoughts. Am I too harsh on this monster? Do you guys agree with me on this monster? Any thoughts? Are you guys going to be racing hard for this monster? Anything at all? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you very much, and remember to subscribe.